Hi, my name is Braxton Montier. I'm with UFLTV, and uh, today I'm interviewing. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am Frank Bedolla, founder of Fathers and Families Coaching in Utah.
Wonderful. Well, I have a couple of questions for you. Let's start with the first one. Um, when I was doing my research and preparing for this interview, I saw parent educator and parent coordinator. Are they synonymous terms? And if so, do you have a preference of which one you prefer to be identified as?
A little bit of both, because I do enjoy the coordinating piece where I like to go and develop partnerships with the courts or agencies and people in the community. So, and that's pretty much what a coordinator, his role is. And as far as an educator is pretty much being the person doing the education, working with the fathers, that I work with.
Wonderful. How does that fit into the how does that role fit into the divorce process? Is this like during the divorce process, or is this more management after the dust is cleared?
Yeah, we actually had fathers that are going through the divorce process. I had a father from Texas. It didn't work out. They're going through divorce. He actually relocated here in Utah, so they were going through that. And one of the things through the court was to actually get some parenting skills. So he was able to find our organization to provide parenting classes geared for men. So that was something that it was beneficial for him. He mentioned, that he's taken some other parenting classes, but this was very different because it really focused on him and how to connect with his child, and also the important thing is how to co-parent as well, how to actually live in a two-parent, situation where they could raise a child.
Okay. What kind of qualifications or certifications are required to become a parent educator or parent coordinator?
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's actually a state requirement for a parent educator, but for as far as but I can only speak about our Nurturing Fathers program that we do provide an intensive training, and I've been actually been doing the Nurturing Fathers program for about, I would say, over 15 years, and it's something that we go through about 2 day training. And now that I actually could be train the trainer, I've actually trained individuals the same amount of time or half a day or a full day to actually teach the curriculum, teach the skills to other agencies or individuals that want to continue to help fathers in the community. So there is a process because we got to make sure that we stay under that framework, that philosophy of the Nurturing Fathers program.
Um, so you talked a bit about the parent education and the courses that you go through. What are the kind of specific education kind of goals that you go through, and what are the typical processes of parent education?
Yeah, we definitely, we go through the intake process, get to know the individual. What's their story for the most part? What's happening that led them to our program? And once we get that information and we start developing our day, because we meet on Wednesdays at 5:30 until 7, and from time to time we do meet people, at different times just because of their work schedule. And once we have that going on, our goal and the message that we give our fathers is that, we want to make sure that children are raised in a two-parent with two parents in their lives. Okay, and how they're going to do that? We do it. We have three domains that we focus on as well. We definitely focus on development of self. So we walk the fathers with how was their relationship with their father. Okay, how was that? How was those values growing up actually made who you are as an individual? And they actually also focus on nurturing as well. Making sure that you understand what nurturing is. Self care is a big factor as well. And then the second domain is connecting with your child. So we really go into like stages of development, with the father. We go through behavioral management as well. I mean, just knowing what to do if certain situations occur in a household or a home, even for teenagers, we walk them through that whole process. And then the third one is actually learn how to co-parent with a mom, even though they're not together. But the idea is for a child to actually have two parents raising this child, and what does that look like, and how beneficial it is for the child. So we want to make sure
Yeah.
that that takes place because one of the things that I've seen, and I've been working in like with youth for many years as well, and I found that there's a lot of kids in single households. So my message to these fathers is that you play an important role in a child's life, even though there's drama going on with your spouse maybe. But you got to put that aside and focus on you, what you have control over, and making sure that you have a great relationship with your child during the time that you're there, with them.
Um, that's wonderful. I think that's something that, some it is definitely needed. Um, is a parent educator or a parent educator course needed in every sort of child custody situation, or is it just the people who really, really need it should use this resources or should use this resource, and some people that they should be able to handle it on their own? So,
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I had fathers that they're in variety of situations. Some that are just they feel like the system's against them, but it's a place where we could coach and help them out through the whole process as well. And I'll give you a little example, Braxton. We had this happened at the same time. We had a father in one hand and another father in the other hand. Similar situations. We're going through family court custody. One of the fathers, went through the course, worked the process, and the other father pretty much, had negativity, why this happened to me. He would not attend the sessions, would not even be allow me to coach him, and just quit the program. Okay, but the one that actually completed the program was able to get custody, was able to work things out because the judge sees that 10 times closed when you go through that process because that does provide a leverage when you go to court because we do provide a letter that they completed the program, and it's sad that this individual had this opportunity, had this school, had this control, and it didn't happen, because his emotions took over. And we had this other father that just went through the whole process in that, 10 to 13 weeks. And, he's a happy camper because now he understands how to work with the mom and connect with the child. And actually, they did a 50-50. And now they're raising the child together, which is really positive. That's what we want to make sure it comes out of.
and is that a common problem that comes up? Is just general negativity or feelings of the system being against you, or are there other common problems that you see?
Yeah, they do. I mean, it comes out, as men in general, we want the answers off the bat. We want to be
Yes.
fixers, and that's one thing that we teach as well. And we teach them that there's a process we have to go through. And some of those questions that you may have are going to be answered through this whole process, and just being patient and being able to do that in time will make that change. Will happen, that reflection.
Okay. Um, so when these problems are addressed, what is the normal course resolution? Is it just there is a process that if you wait just a moment and are a little patient, you'll get the answer that you're looking for?
Right.
Or is there like a guide, or do you explain the process beforehand?
Yeah, through the help of the chapters that we actually work with
Okay.
the answers are there. And sometimes we stay after the session, we process, talk. My thing is that we cannot give advice. Okay, that's one thing that we cannot do. Okay,
Hmm.
may ask some questions, to bring some clarity, with you, and maybe
Hmm.
and the answers are already there. It just needs some help to pull those out. Okay, because that's one thing
Okay.
we do is have that process, that we talk about. Yeah, because we're not therapists or anything. We're there as coaches trying to guide you and lead you.
Okay. And you spoke a bit about leverage and a letter that you provide at the end of the course. Are there any, is that the only thing that they can kind of use to help in the litigation process? Or is there other sort of things that they, not so much like concrete things that they can file with the court or certifications like that, because you said you can't give advice, or you provide them with a letter. Is there anything that they can use to kind of help with the litigation process?
As long as they use all the resources that they have, with mediation, with their attorney that they have, that's the best thing as well. And having a therapist as well to actually process that with them, and going through our courses really does help a lot to help them understand, and keep them pretty much engaged with through the whole process. Because one of the things that we teach these dads is that, we got to make sure we have patience, because you can't change things overnight. Okay, for the next what until the kids are 18, things are going to be really, up in the air from time to time. But if you actually start learning these skills that we actually teach them to understand what's happening, hopefully they have a conscious awakening of what's taking place. for them to do better and make those right choices. Yeah, so there's no right or wrong. It's just a matter of how much education, knowledge you want to have in your situation.
And to join the program and go through the course, does it cost money? If so, how much? You
Actually,
know,
right now, I mean, we have a grant that we actually, use. So right now they're free. And
okay,
hopefully, man, we get we're applying again. So hopefully by next year, we get the grant again to do this for free as well. So it's open. I mean, this program here, I think if someone were to take it somewhere else, it would cost them a good $400 to $800. It's going to be offered for free. Okay, it's really a program that's changed and transformed a lot of lives. These fathers. A lot of these fathers that come through a program actually appreciate. They're skeptical off the bat, like I don't think this program is going to help me. But once they get to the third or fourth session, a light really hits them that hey, I need this program, because it really does help me to actually get to know myself a little bit better. You know, we have some great conversations, deep conversations about their relationships with their father or their family situation, and how that impacts the way they raise their child, and also the relations they may have with others as well. That comes up. So that's one of the things that actually is really important for these fathers to know.
okay. Um, so following down on the that line of questioning, does a parent educator or coordinator have to be a parent, him or herself, in order to give this
No,
advice and kind of?
well, with our program, as long as they abide with the philosophy of the Nurturing Fathers program, I mean, that's fine, because one thing we want to avoid is imposing your values, making sure that, they actually understand the fatherhood philosophy that we actually do in the program. Yeah, because I've had actually conversations with people and asked, how about if a woman does these classes? Absolutely, they could, as long as, again, they understand the philosophy, understand the actual needs of fatherhood. Okay, that's really, really important, And I've
Yeah,
seen some great fathers across the country. They're women that do this, that
yeah.
actually are doing some great work, in fatherhood. So it's anybody can actually do it.
Okay, so it actually might be very beneficial for the co-parenting relationship for the mother to actually go through this course to kind of understand the father's perspective a little bit more.
Yeah, we haven't done that of a mother's perspective, but definitely I would love to have a conversation because I remember one time I did have a class. I had the mom come in, the wife actually, and because she came because she said, my husband's changing in a positive light. You want to know what we're teaching these men, and she actually was able to share her perspective about what they expect on in fatherhood, and so it really brought a different angle in fatherhood in that course that we were teaching. So yeah, absolutely, man. Moms do bring a different angle of it.
Okay. So in Utah, uh, parents are required when going through the divorce process to take some online classes and get certifications. Do you cover kind of the same topics that is in those classes, or is it more just about the father's perspective and how to really manage that?
Yeah, the nurturing fathers program that we use, it's uses the ACEs as evidence based to the nurturing parenting philosophy. It also talks about trauma as well, because that's why we go back to your relationship with your father and your mom as well. So we go back to that, and then we try to bring them back into what kind of father they want to be. So there's a topic that we call the father wound. Okay, so and definitely want to make sure that we go back to that.
Um, what kind of background do you need to become a parent educator or coordinator?
As
Do
long
you,
as you have the passion, the will to actually guide and support these fathers, and making sure that they understand that they play an important role in a child's life. Okay, even though it's fatherhood, and I tell
Mhm.
these fathers all the time. Okay, this program is more about your child connecting with you. Okay, what does
Yeah.
that look like? Okay, he deserves to have a father. He deserves to have a mom as well. Because every time we do talk about mom and maybe in a negative way, it's that child is part of her as well and part of you. So that's why when you're with them, make sure that you're with them. Okay, you don't talk about that. You focus on what's going on in the present time.
Yeah. That's wonderful. I think that's very important for a lot of people. I think some people don't understand when they may just be voicing their opinions, but the room isn't always empty when they do so.
Right.
Yeah. So, my next question, do uh, do parent educators or coordinators ever have to testify in court?
No,
Maybe say, hey, this guy is here, he showed up to the meetings or something like that.
no. Actually, our letter usually sums it up. And actually,
Okay.
I think we're getting a little traction through the guardable items. We're getting a little traction through the courts. Because from time to time the court does say, take the nurturing fathers program. And
Okay.
there's a difference. They might say take a parenting class. Our classes are very unique and different, and I think they're better. Some fathers take that a parenting class that's just for 1 hour and they're done. Ours is 13 weeks because it's more about them.
Okay. Well, I think that would people would look more favorably on that, a 13-week course as opposed to somebody who sat down for an hour, did an online video, and then technically checked the box, but did no actual real work.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've talked about the benefits of being a parent educator or coordinator. Are there any drawbacks to the service? Or is there any kind of, you know, pitfalls or um, things that people need to be aware of before they hop in?
Just the purpose, I'm making sure that you know what your population is going to be in the area. I know that one of the things I've been doing this for 20 years, and I'm still going up that hill and trying to even let people know that we're here. To make sure
Yeah.
and I think every year we get about 40 plus dads, and I think we could get more. And that's one of the things that is the downfall is that the word of mouth is not really as high as I wanted it to be. So
Okay.
that's one of the things that we need to address.
Great. Well, that was the last question that I had. How can people, well, let's see if I can help you with the word of mouth. How can people find you and where can they take your class?
Yeah, they could call 801-631-1278 or our website as well at ffcutah.org. And they could actually reach us in that fashion. And then I'll definitely, if they're interested, I'll usually send them a link how to do the intake process, set up an appointment, and it'll be great to have more fathers to come out and actually learn about themselves. And hopefully they could support all the fathers as well. I think it does provide a leverage, so I really encourage you guys to take advantage of that as much as you can. I've worked with, I think, got hundreds of fathers in the last 15, 20 years. And I think I've seen a lot more success when they finish the program than anything else.
Wonderful. Thank you.